Welcome to this episode of Counselors in the Community.
Today we're at the Lampasas Fire Department.
Do you have what it takes to be a part of this great fire department?
Here are the firefighters that have taken us through the day.
I'm Captain Adams.
Engine 1, Officer Smith.
Engine 1, Driver Straley.
Engine 1, Firefighter Wilkins.
Awesome. We can't wait to see what you have in store.
Hey, Daddy.
This is our house. Four of us. So we eat breakfast, lunch, and supper together, and we hang out here and we watch TV. We do everything that we need to do up here when we're not on calls or we're not running calls. We have our own kitchen so we cook our own food. How many shifts did I say were down here?
4.
No, 3. There's 4 guys on 3 shifts. So every shift has their own cabinet. Everybody's cabinet is the same. Everybody has a refrigerator, and that's where they keep their food and everything. Why do they do that? Why does everybody have their own?
So they can have their own food.
And so nobody else will eat your food. That's why.
That's
but
cool.
These guys are pretty good. Nobody else gets into everybody else's, and we all share anyway. This is the captain's office.
Captain?
Now, I'm the captain, so this is my office.
So what does the captain do?
What does the captain do? The captain is in charge of this station and in charge of any scene or anywhere we go for 24 hours. So I'm in charge of if we go on a wreck, on a house fire, on a medical, anything like that. I'm ultimately responsible for whatever happens, good or bad. I also make sure that everybody gets trained. I also make sure that all the paperwork gets done. And I also make sure that we're ready to go when we have to go. And they call us for an emergency, 911. You call 911, the dispatcher is going to ask you what your emergency is. Fire, EMS, police. Well, when they call us, there's speakers all scattered all through the fire station that go off and they wake us up. And that lets us know what our call is and where we're going. Okay? We have those upstairs, we have them downstairs, and we have not. When you call 911, the dispatcher needs to know your name, your address, and your phone number, and the type of emergency you're calling for, whether it's fire, EMS, or police.
Okay, to become a full-time firefighter, which Lampasas Fire Department is a combination department. We have 14 full-time paid guys that are here 24 hours a day. Then we have 2 admin that are here 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. We do have a volunteer department with quite a few volunteers on the list that show up and help us on calls. In order to become a firefighter in the state of Texas, you have to graduate high school. You'll have to go to an accredited fire academy, which they have numerous around this area. You'll spend about 6 months, Monday through Friday, going to school, some Saturdays. You'll learn the basics of firefighting, all the different trainings that we have to go through in order to get our certification. Then after you become a full-time firefighter, school does not end. This is a career where you keep going to school all the time. We have confined space rescue. We have hazmat techs who go and take care of gasoline spills or chemical spills. We also have swift water rescue technicians. If there's somebody trapped in high water, we have a team that's able to go and take care of. This is a job that if you want to keep going to school, you'll love it because you're always going to school, always having to learn something new. If you want to promote in your job from just a regular firefighter to, say, firefighter Smith's position as a truck lieutenant, you have to go to certain schooling to be able to qualify for that position. The firefighters, which we call the backseat guys, they're going to be mainly the ones that are hooking up to the fire hydrant, getting us water, and mainly the people who are going to be pulling the hoses off the truck and fighting the fire. Now when you move up to the driver spot here, you have to go through a specialized class called driver pumper operator class. It includes the ladder truck as well. It teaches you how to pump the trucks if you have any major issues, how to combat them, teaches you how to quickly troubleshoot things, and it also teaches you what pressures you need to have on that pump in order to spray water and nobody to get hurt. Then when you graduate to, say, Firefighter Smith's spot, she has gone through officer training and she's gone through the driver training, instructor training. You have to have your instructor to be able to do anything in any department that you go to. But there's different levels of instructor. You have instructor 1 through 3, fire officer 1 through, I believe it's 5. Those will help you progress in your career.
Back in the days of the fire starters, when they had horses pull these wagons, they used to carry these buckets, and these buckets were used to pick up horse droppings or whatever. Well, people would steal the buckets and use them for milking buckets. So what they did is they made them cone shaped like this so nobody could steal them, because they won't stand up when you're trying to milk. So there you go.
Just a little. Okay, so one of the cool things about the fire department is they don't just fight fires. So let's talk about all the different departments they have, or all the different certifications that they have, all housed within this one fire department.
We have a few of our firefighters that are also peace officer certified. That means we went to about a year-long school to become a police officer. Now that doesn't mean we patrol the streets. We use it for what we call arson investigator, where we can go and investigate fires and make arrests. A lot of departments utilize this. We're also helping PD at the same time, because they have a few guys that are also dual certified firefighters as well. So what that means is if they need help, we can help them in any way, and they can help us vice versa. In emergency circumstances, we have what they call exigent circumstances, where if we can see smoke, or we can see fire, we can go in, we can cut a lock on a gate, go through fence if we need to. Now when it comes to the investigations part, we have to get permission from the landowners and everything else like that.
All right, here we are at the famous fire hydrant. Don't forget, don't block it with your car.
Awesome. Well, this is how we get water when we go to a fire. We carry all this 5-inch hose. This is called supply hose, or LDH, large diameter hose. We simply, when we're pulling up to a fire, most of the time we're lucky enough, or we know where they're at, that when we grab a hydrant on the way to the fire, we drop a hose, wrap it around the hydrant, and when we get to the fire, we disconnect it and hook it to the side of the truck, turn the fire hydrant on, and the fire hydrant just turned it on just now, and it fills the fire truck. That's what we run from. We carry 1,000 gallons on the tank, but that doesn't last long at all, so we get our supply from the fire hydrant.
This is a hydrant wrench. Fits all of them in town.
Okay.
So you're gonna go right here. You make sure it's tight on there, and then you're just gonna twist it open. Yes, you have to have a hydrant wrench. The fire department has them, and the water department.
Ooh, it's making noise.
Yeah, now you can keep going. Okay. Good. You open up kind of slow, because we don't want to do what is called a water hammer. And so if you water hammer something, you open it or shut it too fast, it can hurt the hydrant, it can hurt our truck, it can even hurt the pipes underneath the ground.
Okay, and then the fire truck is going to work as like a, not a filter, but a regulator, so that you can control.
It is pushing it. It is a pump. It has a pump on it that it's pulling the water out of the hydrant, out of the mains, and it's putting it in there, and then it's pressurizing it to go.
Hey, I've got a fun fact for you. You ever heard of fire hydrants being called fire plugs? Well, that goes back to the 1800s, late 1700s. All the water lines in the ground at the time used to be made out of wood. So what firemen would do if there was a fire, they would find where the water line was next to the house, and they'd drill a hole in it. And they would hook their hose to that and get water out of that to put the fire out. And when they were done, they would cut a piece of wood and put a plug in it, and put it back into the ground and cover it back up. And that's why these fire hydrants are called fire plugs.
So we got the water connected, and now this nice firefighter is going to tell us what we do now.
what we're going to show you is when we arrive on scene, what we do to get water to the firefighters into the burning car or house. The driver's going to do my position. I'm going to come up here, hold this valve, see this green light engage. Then I'll put the truck back in drive, let off, and this green light here will tell me if it's okay to engage the pump and start pumping water. Then we're going to come back here to the actual pump tank. Alright.
Wow, check out this. This is like a video game.
Pretty much. There's a lot of switches and a lot of valves we have to pull to get water to where we need to go. So the first thing we'll do is we'll deploy our deck gun. This deck gun will flow about anywhere between 600 gallons of water per minute to about 1,300 gallons per minute. And it goes very, very quick. We'll wait for it to go through a sequence, and then right here is all of our buttons that we can use to move the gun up and down or side to side. And what we'll do is we'll move it over to the right. And we'll bring it down just a little bit, because this will spray all the way to the street right over here behind us, if we let it. We'll pull our tank pump. That gets water from our water tank to the truck pump so we can flow water. We'll open our tank fill, that way we don't run out of water from the hydrant. So we'll come over here. It's technically called a deluge gun, but we call it a deck gun master. It might get wet.
It's okay.
While we're pumping, go up and down on our pressures.
Okay.
So we'll take it up to about 120. 120. We're putting out a lot of water in.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's very, very loud. The water pressure is intense and crazy. So no wonder they can put a fire out pretty fast.
We have different tips. We can take this tip off and get more water as we go. And then we also have another connection for this. We can take this off. We can use just a big fire nozzle that goes on the end of this to control it off from the end. I went to a school. A lot of us are certified as driver pumper operators. We learned how to pump the truck correctly. What happens if we have a failure of the pump, we lose water. We know that there's certain pressures that we have to pump at. We train a lot on what pressures are going to be efficient for the firefighters that are on the crew. Most of the time we can tell by just the look of the stream, or Captain Adams will tell us, hey, we need more water here, more water there, or the firefighters inside the building will tell us, hey, we need water to come up a little bit, something like that. Usually I'll be here and we'll have firefighter Ford and driver Charlotte. She'll be out there with him fighting fire while Captain Adams is going around the house checking everything out. There's always somebody on this pump panel.
There we go. All right. That fire truck has 1,000 gallons of water on it. A gallon of water weighs 8.33 pounds. How much does that water on the fire truck weigh?
How long have you been with the fire department?
I've been with the Lampasas Fire Department for about a year now.
And what are some things that you think people interested in becoming a firefighter need to know, besides the school stuff, because you just told us that?
It's not just an office job. It's something new every day. You're going to learn something new every day. You're going to see something new every day. and
What kind of things do you have to learn? How do you work with people and stuff?
Communication. That's number one in this job. Not everyone's great at it. A lot of people are great at it.
Okay, do you have to work together as a team? How important is that?
Teamwork's very important. We always go. You never do anything by yourself. It's pretty much all. You always have at least one buddy with you.
What about with your superiors and stuff? How does that work?
It's just another family to me. I treat them like family. They treat me like family, and I just love coming to work.
Do you get any other skills you need to know? Because I'm hearing a lot of math. People think that they come down here just to pour some water on a fire, but I heard a lot of math going on in there.
The more the math part is up to the driver operator, due to the certain feet of hose and the different pressures of the lines, and that's something the driver operator can handle.
It's something you have to learn math and learn it on the fly. That way, if something goes wrong, you know, okay, I need to do this way, this way, and not have to ask anybody real quick.
But having those basic math skills that you learn in school is a good
basic math and basic science, also grammar and English as well. We write a lot of reports. Now, we don't have to write them by hand. We get to type them up, but grammar is very, very important.
And I bet having to stay calm and focused and being able to work is a big part of your job too.
Yes, you can't roll up to the scene and be chaos along with everything else. You got to be the calm, collect person there to keep everybody else calm.
You have to be in the green zone.
You do.
You do need to be in the green zone. Way to go, Ms. Brown. Okay, so also we just went over problem solving in school, as everyone does. So you have to problem solve like on the fly. You can't sit over there and go, wonder what are we going to do? So you got to make decisions quick and fast.
That's correct. You have to be able to adapt to your circumstances and your surroundings. If something is not right, you've got to have 2 or 3 backup plans already in your mind of how to take care of that incident or that action.
Okay, so I know you have the captain over here who's ultimately responsible, but do y'all all get to kind of contribute, or you get to think about, if something's not working, do you get to contribute some possible solutions as well?
Yes, if we have any sort of issues with anything, we all come together, find a common solution, and then we initiate that action. If it doesn't work, we go back to the drawing board, we sit in our circle, and we figure everything out.
Right. I love to hear that you're compromising, you're making a plan, and you communicate. Awesome. That's the steps of problem solving right there, kids.
Is a piece of the steel beam from the Twin Towers from 9/11. There was a company working when they were tearing that Twin Towers down and they were moving the steel away. A guy worked for a company that took that steel and did recycling and things like that. So what he did was he brought a piece of it to us, to Lampasas. So we have that monument. I have never seen anyone anywhere else this far south, something like that. I'm sure there is, but we got a really cool piece. So that's a piece of the steel. Look how big this is. And this is just one little piece. That'll tell you how big that building was and how heavy it was. Look how thick it is. Yeah. So that's part of the Twin Towers. That's part of our 9/11 memorial. Because 9/11 is really, really big for the fire department. Because a lot of firefighters lost their lives on that day, along with a lot of police officers and a lot of EMS.